The new theatre law is again on President Ilir Meta's table. The DP says the law at the presidency is not the same, but the SP says that the law holds the same number and, as per the Constitution, cannot be returned for reconsideration a second time. The DP has accused Interior Minister Xhafaj for evidence concealment regarding the Xhafaj case. DP MP Noka said the prosecution must launch an investigation against Minister Xhafaj. American Chamber of Commerce Chair Mark Crawford stated that the Albanian government needs to focus on policy and not involve business in their debates. Good evening, it's 6 o'clock on Tuesday the 25th of September 2018. Welcome to the English edition of Aura News. My name is Alexandra and I'm here to bring you the day's top stories from across the country translated into English. Despite the majority accepting the return of the theatre law from the President, it seems that its adoption with amendments will include lawyers of all political parties in the debate. This is a debate that can only be overcome with the interpretation or action of the head of state. The law, passed with the majority vote, was sent to the Presidency on Monday with the motion for a law announcement. The law on determining the procedure for the construction of the new theatre holds the same number, 37, just like the first law overturned by the President on decree. However, sources from within the presidency say that while holding the same bill number, the law is not the same. Sources told Aura News that since it is not the same law, that the head of state has the right to accept it, return it, or to pass it silently. Sources say the law has gone to the presidency is a new law and as such will be dealt with, which means that the presidency will take time to express it by decree or not. When asked by Aura News, the head of the commission responsible, Socialist MP Xhafaj, stated that the law that was sent to the head of the state is the same as that which was presented to the parliament and that he only changed the date. As such, the majority claims that the head of state cannot return the law as under Article 85 of the Constitution, the presidency has the right to repeal the law for reconsideration only once. Opposition lawyers who oppose the demolition of the National Theatre say that with the adoption of the decree, the law has fallen and the majority has adopted a new law. The Democratic Party claims that it is anti-constitutional due to the procedure that the majority pursued and as such should be overthrown. According to the law, the head of state has a 20-day deadline for the proclamation of the law and this deadline expires on 13 October. Until then, it seems the debate will continue. The Law Commission approved an additional 24 new employees for the three main organs of the vetting process. The Independent Qualification Commission received an additional 14 people, including 8 economic advisors. The Appellate Panel received 6 new employees, including 4 counsellors, 2 legal and 2 economists. Also, 4 members were added to the public commissioners. This decision was made by the Law Commission following its own request to prosecuting authorities due to the high number of issues still to be judged. Although, for the approval of the request, the Socialist MP Husseini criticised the approach of these organs, who are seen to be focusing solely on wealth criteria. SP MP Husseini said that these bodies should seek personnel to assess the professional skills of the judges, which according to him are also a problem. There have been very few cases in which the professional incompetence of judges and prosecutors has been discussed. How is it possible that issues are not addressed when a judge has over 50% of his cases or her cases filed for review by the appeals and the Supreme Courts? That would be enough to call out. It does not matter whether or not he can justify 700,000 lek, said Husseini. Following this remark, the chairman of the Laws Commission, Ulcimania, said that the Assembly cannot determine the work of the vetting bodies as this is their competence. These are wholly matters of decision-making for the Independent Qualification Commission and the Appellate Panel. These are completely independent institutions, retorted Ulcimania. Speaker of the case, Bashkim Fino, urged Parliament to immediately approve this request so that the financial package can be forecast in the 2019 budget. The Democratic Party referred to a statement by Interior Minister Xhafaj during an interview to accuse him of being involved in a state conspiracy with the mafia to close the scandal of his brother Xhafaj, a convicted trafficker in Italy. Democratic Party MP Noka said that Minister Xhafaj claimed that there are evidence and facts about his brother's audio tapping, and the failure to deliver them to the prosecutor's office results in the penal offence of obstruction of justice. Xhafaj and Edi Rama are directly involved in a state plot to shut down the mafia scandal of drug trafficking by the Interior Minister's brother. Just like Edi Rama and Xhafaj's statement that Xhafaj's taping is fabricated, and for this he has evidence, said Noka. Noka said that in a normal state where the public interest is protected and not the interest of the power related to crime, the prosecution would have investigated Prime Minister Edi Rama and Interior Minister Xhafaj for concealment of evidence and obstruction of justice. Serbia's President Aleksandar Vučić has stated that the policy pursued for the 5 years aimed at resolving the Kosovo issue at the negotiating table has been defeated. He made these comments at the meeting of the Steering Council of the Serbian Progressive Party. My policy for Serbia to keep many things in Kosovo clearly did not win in Serbia because Serbs want to lose everything, mostly wanting to lament their fate. Serbs want more to cry for something that is far than to have something in their hands. The first round was won by Serbia's destruction, Serbia's oil, and it was not Serbia who won, said Vučić. Meanwhile, Vučić stressed that he fears there will not be another opportunity, but he will fight even harder for the Serb people in Kosovo. We will fight for those people to live better and have more rights, said Aleksandar Vučić. The Serbian president further added that many from the West did not want Serbia to be involved in Kosovo issues, and this is the result of catastrophic and irresponsible politics that has guided in the past. Vučić has also spoken about the speech he gave in Mitrovica in early September, during which he estimated that the former Serbian president, Slobodan Milosevic, was a great leader, retorting that no one really wanted to listen to what he was saying when he mentioned him. My speech in Mitrovica was a talk of President Milosevic's policy breakdown, but a serious speech in which I did not personally insult anyone. The policy I have presented is disconnected from goals, ways and methods, said Aleksandar Vučić. Vučić had earlier declared his policy to set boundaries between Albanians and Serbs, meaning Kosovo's land division. The majority has called the Democratic Party's plan to cancel concessions a threat to economic development, or at a minimum, a fine on businesses. During a roundtable organised by the European Qualification for Energy Managers, the Energy and Infrastructure Minister, Damian Gjignouri, was asked about the DP's platform released yesterday and the declaration for the annulment of concessions. According to Minister Gjignouri, the government will continue with its projects. I did not think the level of degradation behind the political situation of a major opposition party on claims simply made to come to power, because such statements, while a fewer part of them are fines to the economy, for the major part, they are threatening to the economic development of this country. Albania is a member of international conventions that protect any kind of investment, and the time has gone for a political party to allow its political interests to threaten business that invests in our country, or undertake measures that are worthy of past regimes. So I call simply it the manifestation of political degradation by the Democratic Party and politics on the most depressing level, said Damian Gjignouri. According to the Democratic Party, concessions and public-private partnerships have caused damage to the state budget of €3.7 million. The government has so far made over 200 public-private partnerships. Democrats have pledged to cancel all that they consider to be corrupt, with the money to be returned to the public. Albania should function with a government system rather than one run by a single party or individual. This was an appeal made by the representative of the American Investors of Albania for Albanian politics. President of the American Chamber of Commerce in Tirana, Mark Crawford, declared that statements by the DP may be misinterpreted by foreign investors, remarking that investors generally do not come to Albania for simply one governing mandate, preferring to make long-term investments. Crawford suggests that if there are suspicions of any special favours in regards to tenders, they must be sent to the courts for review under applicable laws. The head of the US Chamber of Commerce in Albania suggests the government review business requirements in the new fiscal package, considering it to be an opportunity to absorb investment. The Democratic Party recently presented the anti-corruption and oligarchy platform, taking a stab at Rama's years of governance, stressing abuses through public-private partnership contracts and concessions have cost Albanian citizens $2.18 billion. And that's the news across the country today. Thank you for watching our English edition this evening, and be sure to join me again every Monday to Saturday at 6 p.m. for the latest news from Albania. Once again, on behalf of Aura News, thank you and good night.